This is the third episode of this program, and you are listening to me on WAID Radio Cincinnati, Ohio, Africans in Diaspora Radio. So, welcome once again to Abimbola Talks. We are talking about different topics that affect us immigrants and everybody in our marriages, in our homes, as it pertains to mental health. I am so passionate about our mental stability because it's not spiritual. We have to really understand that. It is not spiritual. If every aspect of our lives, in our marriages, at work, if it works the way it's supposed to be, we will have a stable mental health. So today, we are talking about finance in marriage. One of the most problem that causes divorce in marriage is finance. It affects our mental health. When your bill, you cannot pay, when you cannot pay your bill, then you cannot sleep. You cannot eat. You start arguing and you might end up in mental facility. So what I tell my young people, when you are getting boyfriend, girlfriend, I know you are so much in love, you are blinded, but talk about finance. How much loan are you bringing into the marriage? How much credit card loan do you have? How much school loan do you have? So let's talk about it. Is this something we can take care of before we start building a home and having children? So I think it is very important in marriage, because by the time you get in there might be problems. So, and the unfortunate thing is that most marriage counselors, when you ask them question, I'm having problem with my finances, they're like, you know what? You can do joint account, or you do, separate account. Just do whatever works for you. How do I know which one works for me if you don't explain what it's supposed to be? So I'm going to explain it to us right now, so that when you get into the marriage, or if you are already married right now and you're having problem with your finances, you don't know how to do, sit down with your spouse. Let's have a round table talk and, choose whichever works for you. So the first one is separate account. So that means when everyone gets paid, the husband gets paid, the wife gets paid, they keep their finances, everybody, I keep mine, you keep yours. But 20% of it is put into a joint account for emergencies, just in case something happens. Maybe somebody just call from home. If you are, especially for Africans in diaspora, somebody calls from home, I need this, that you have a separate account, which is like about joint. Just about 20% of our paycheck goes into there. But I use my 80% to pay for whatever I want to pay. He uses his own 80% or 70%. It depends on how much percentage you are putting in that joint account, so to say. So that is one. Let me explain again. It is separate account. I get paid. My 100%, I put 30% in a separate account. He put 30% of his own 100% in that account. So that is our emergency account, just in case something happens. Then I pay my bills, he pay his bills. That is separate. Then the second one is semi-joint account. So that means the part of paycheck goes into couple's account for emergencies too, but all the bills in the house will be paid from that account. So that means it's a semi-joint account. So definitely I get paid 100%. It gets paid 100%. We'll say, okay, you know what? Instead of you to separate your bills and pay yours, let's put 50% or 60% into that joint account. Then he puts 60% into that joint account. So that account will be used only for emergencies and to pay bills. Because some of the spouse, if you leave the bills for the husband to pay, some, even though they have money, they forget. By the time your lights is cut off, like, oh, I forgot to pay bills. So one of you should be designated to be doing paying of bills from that account. So that means I get paid 100%, I keep my 50%, he keep his 50%, we put 50% into that joint account for paying bills and also for emergency. So the third one is the whole joint account. So that means 100% that I'm paid, I put in the account. The 100% income of him, he put into the account. So that account, whenever I want to do anything, if I want to pay any bills, I want to eat, I want to buy clothing for myself, I want to do anything, is coming from that account. I have a debit card of that account. He has a debit card of that account because 100% of our income goes straight into that account. So that means everybody has access to it. But let me tell you, the flaw to that account is that, especially we immigrants, if I have, like right now, my mom is alive, but my dad has passed. So that means I only have one parent to cater to. My husband, both his parents have passed. So that means he doesn't have parent that is sending money to. He has siblings, and I have siblings too. So if one part of the family is more demanding than the other, then there will be problem. Them like, oh, why did you take money? Why didn't you tell me? Even if he tells you, like, oh, why did you have to spend $500 to your own family? And nobody is demanding from me. I've only spent $100 on my own part of the family. So this causes a lot of problem. Then, if you want like 100%, separate account, 100%, I keep your money, you keep your money. That is the way it's going to be done. If you want that joint account whereby all the money will be going to that account, then you have to be prudent. Then if you like, okay, let's do a situation whereby I keep my money, you keep your money, but we divide all the bills. Like I pay mortgage. I keep my money, but I only pay mortgage. You keep your money, you pay for the energy bill, you pay for water bill, you pay for phone bill, you take care of insurance, and car notes, and all those things. Depends on who earns more than the other. So that one works for some people, because I have a family friend that told me that that's how they've been doing for the past 30 years. So she gets her money, she keeps her money, but they divide the bills in the house, and the one that you are responsible for. And the flaw to that is also somebody has to be responsible to make sure the bills are paid on time. But in all this, there has to be transparency. We have to show each other that this is how much I'm earning and this is how much I'm spending. Because in a family, in a home, there's always a spender. There's always somebody that is prudent. There is someone that as soon as they get their paycheck, they go to the mall. They buy. Some are like that. But there are some that are very needy, very nitty-gritty. They do not buy, So if things like that continue to happen, then there will be problem in the home. There will be many arguments and stuff like that. And this is exactly what I'm trying to prevent in our homes. I want our mental health to be balanced. If there is problem with finances, if I have 100,000 school loan and he doesn't have school loan, maybe he studied in Africa or he went to school for free. If he doesn't have school loan, then you know what? It's gonna be like the attention, the attention will be only on me. I will be spending more, you know. So that's exactly what we are trying to do, so that we don't have, you know, arguments in the house. When bills come, we cannot sleep, we can't eat, then we start fighting against each other. So by the time those strifes start, then our mental health, you know, if you cannot sleep, then your mind is everywhere. Then you start fighting, you know, you are depressed, you are anxious. And so many of us, our mental balance is very, very thin. There is just little thing that will tick our brain, and, you know, we just fall into depression or anxiety or become psychotic. So we have to take care of our mental health. So that is why you have to make sure that your finances in your home is right. When you have a good